Γεια σας όλους, σας είναι ο JohnyThan εδώ και καλώς ήρθατε πίσω στο 14 Days With You. Την προηγούμενη φορά που το παίξαμε το παιχνίδι, παιδιά, κάναμε λίγη συζήτηση με τον Ren και αποφασίσαμε να πάμε στο σπίτι του και ξαφνικά ξεχάσαμε κάτι και πήγε ο Ren να πάει να το φέρει πίσω στο μαγαζί που αφήσαμε πίσω όταν ήμασταν ραντεβού με τους φίλους μας. Και εμείς ξαφνικά κάναμε κάτι και ξαφνικά μας έπεσε κάτι κάτω και χρησιμοποιήσαμε κάτι για να το πλύνουμε και τώρα είμαστε μέσα στο σαλόνι του και τον περιμένουμε μέχρι να γυρίσει πίσω. Οπότε για να δούμε τώρα τι θα γίνει στη συνέχεια. Aside from that, the silence is almost deafening and I have half of mine to reach for the remote and turn on the television. Surely it won't hurt. I mean, Ren did say I could make myself at home, you know, potential shopping aside. Perhaps it was to get rid of the guilty feelings forming in my stomach, but I quickly find myself shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts and reaching for the remote on the table. Flicking thoughts in the channels, I land on one in particular, and although the signal was weak, I could discern the picture of some news reported in a blazer that looked far too flimsy to keep her warm. She droning on about that local happening in Corland Bay before a familiar backdrop comes on the screen and captures my full attention. Oh, it looks like the unspelled restaurant where Connect and my other co-worker helped me welcome in party. Everything still looks the same, except the main thing that holds my interest, the two people sitting in the quiet corner of the room. Oh, was that Eleanor and Kiara? They seemed to be enjoying each other's company, given how they were both smiling and laughing at each other's jokes. Today, outing aside, it sure was good to see Eleanor having fun outside of our workplace. I hardly ever see her outside of the library, so it was nice to know that she was enjoying herself. The news reported soon returned and continuing on about some planned renovations happening at that restaurant right before it switches to a pre-recorded broadcast about a recent murder in the city. The mere mention of new salvos had me curling in with disgust, and I had half a mind to change the channel or turn the TV off along the trailer. Seeing all of the recent talk of gore and murder on TV, it makes me feel... Nah, ας πούμε αυτό. I guess some mourning part of me honestly like hearing about all this sickening topic on the news. Though, it made me sense considering how I'd be all but encompassed by it while living in the city. Everywhere I went, I was surrounded by petty crimes, selfish assholes who called themselves my friends, and even the search of death. I always thought moving to Corland Bay would give me a break from it. After all, everyone always says nothing but happens here, but I guess I was wrong. But I suppose it wasn't all bad. I have supportive friends now, an amazing boss and co-worker, and a timed library patron who goes to great lengths to keep me safe. Man, I guess I never truly appreciated Ren's thankful until this moment. He's done so much for me these past few days, and not once had he asked for anything in return. And as if I'm in him with my thoughts, I hear the telltale sounds of the front door unlocking before Ren flies inside and flicks on all the lights. In one of his hands, in my beloved phone, alongside a bag of delicious smelling takeout and a NFC plushie picking out from another. And almost like a puppy, Ren immediately makes his way over to me, still perches on the couch before depositing the toy in my hands. Angel, were you sitting here without any lights? Sorry, I should have turned them on before I left. But, I brought some food with me. I figure you might be hungry. I don't really have much food in the pantry right now. Oh, that's fine. Thanks for being so considerate. Yeah, I mean, no problem, it's nothing. Let me get some plates, and we can eat then. As Ren lifts himself from the back of the sofa, he makes sure to hand my cell phone back to me as well before heading off towards the kitchen. Now, reunited with my beloved phone once more, I unlock it and check for any notifications. One update in particular lets me know that the security camera I ordered had been successfully delivered, and that alone makes me feel safe enough to return to my apartment should I change my mind about staying here. With a satisfied hum, I quickly pocket my phone lest I lose it again and follow Ren into the kitchen. I watch as he turns on all the lights in them there as well before he plays the takeout on the computer and stops to sniff the air. Oh, what's the smell? What's that smell? Oh shit! I almost forgot about the ink I honestly threw away in the trash. In respect that I probably should flushed it down the toilet or something instead. Oh, about that, Ας το πούμε την αλήθεια τώρα, να το πούμε τι έγινε, ας το πούμε την αλήθεια. I figure I'll be best if I simply come clean. After all, Ren didn't deserve to be lied to, much less have a guest he trusted snoop through his belongings while he was away. Man, if only I could say the same thing about my stalker. Before I can dwell on it any further, Ren's worried look pulls me from my thoughts and back to the present. Welp, here goes nothing. I accidentally spilled some of your ink earlier. You what? Everything now long forgotten. Ren rounds the corner within seconds and perches down at me with soft eyes. Are you okay? It didn't stain you, did it? Let me see. He was still concerned about me. I watch as Ren reveals more of his hands from within the shelves of the cardigan to hold and inspect my own. His blue eyes are full of concern as I feel the rough pads of his thumb caress my skin once again. My reminder of the ring on his finger, and I can't help but ask. That ring, it must be special to you, huh? My ring? Ren follows my gaze out to his hand before awkwardly pulling away and starting at his jaw. Yes, it's a ring I made when I was younger. I'm surprised you noticed it. This ring, it means a lot to me. I don't know what I'd do if I lost it. It's very pretty. What about the one around your neck? That's... Ren claims up the moment I meekly reach out to touch it, and he stares down at me with wide, conscious eyes. few own fingers wrapped around my wrist, though he makes no effort to remove my hands from his necklace. In fact, he only seems to hold them in place as he purrs at me. Thinking confidence, I ran my fingers across the cold metal of his ring and take it all the small details. Much like the ring on Ren's fingers, the one around his neck also had a handmade feel to it. If the faint scratches and chips were anything to go by, though, the craftsmanship was no less impressive. There also seems to be some kind of inspiredness inside the ring, but it was difficult for me to read due to the glare coming from the kitchen light. Part of me wants to pull it closer to get a better view, though. I doubt it'd be a good idea to yank Ren down by his necklace, especially considering how he was already hunching over enough as it is. Still, I couldn't stop my budding curiosity from putting one of my fingers inside the ring to see it fit. And almost immediately, Ren stumbles forward as he fingers getting squeezed my wrist. Do you wanna try it on? Before Ren can speak, a loud booming sound erupts from outside the apartment and startles the both of us. Man, was it seriously about this to start raining again? You're joking. With a sigh, I abruptly pull away and glance out one of the large ceiling to floor windows. Dark clouds were rolling in front of distance, though there weren't any telltale sign of rain yet. Though the ominous black smoke was new, I didn't know that got this bad. We weren't even that high up for fog to appear. Was this some kind of a sign? Still, it won't do to be stuck waiting out yet another storm again, so I glance in Ren's direction and offer a sympathetic smile. Maybe I should head home before it starts raining. Ναι, θα είναι καλή ιδέα. Καλύτερα. Yeah, it's probably best for me to go home before that storm gets any worse. I still had to go back to work tomorrow anyway. Thanks for today, but I should probably start heading back home. Oh, it's really no problem. Here, why don't I put your food in another bag and drop you off? Are you sure? I don't want to be a bother. You'll never be a bother to me. Aw, τι αξιολάδερ αυτό. Tapping the table, Ren pushes himself up and sets off to find something to put my takeout in. What did I do to deserve someone as kind as Ren? Meh. With a smile of my own, I get up from the stool and slowly make my way towards the entrance once more, but not before throwing Ren one final compliment. It's great that I can rely on you for anything. Ha ha ha. I mean, of course. Και γυρνάμε πίσω στο σπίτι. The ride back to home place was nothing short of ominous. The looming clouds on the horizon made me certainly seem dark and eerie, but thankfully Ren and his pastel cloud hair were there no brighter things up. He even offered to walk me to my door, and what greeted the both of us was a single package on top of my doormat. Panic flashes through me at the thought of it being another gift from my support stalker, but then I remember the purchase I made this morning and the notifications I receive on my phone. Ah, that must be my security cameras. deftly picking up. I put it under an arm as I fish for my keys in one of my pockets. I can sense Ren's eyes on me, or rather my package, but even as I glance in his direction, I can tell that he's trying to hold himself back from asking. Surely there won't be any harm in telling him. Oh, I bought our security system this morning, because how shady this neighborhood is. B? Εγώ θα έλεγα B, because I figured it'd be a good idea to be safer than sorry. That creep didn't come back, did they? Without thinking, I dropped my keys and slapped a hand over Ren's mouth before causing looking over my shoulder. What was I doing? I was getting worked up and acting paranoid again. With an embarrassing look, I turned back to apologize to Ren, only to find his cheeks a deep red and a hand wrapped around my wrist. When did he quickly reach my hand? I squeezed out an apology before picking up my keys and turning back to my door. I still didn't want to get Ren involved with my problems, but I honestly didn't want to risk being alone tonight either. Lost in my own world, I barely noticed Ren coming closer, nor his hand covering my keys to steady my figure. Do ya want some help? He must have seen the look of confusion of my face, since he continues talking. Setting up your cameras, I mean, I'm pretty good with that tech. I guess you could say I'm a programmer of sorts. I'm sure I can figure it all out. Plus, it's save you having to call someone to install them. He did have a point, and I honestly feel safer if I weren't alone tonight. Still, I'd been spending so much time with Ren lately, and I didn't want him to get fed up with me and my preciousness. Would it be a good idea? Τώρα τι να σου πω. Να τον εμπιστευτούμε. Φυσικά ήταν ευγενικός που μας έφερε στο σπίτι, αλλά δεν άνοιξε τα φώτα και ανησύχησε λίγο για μας και μας άφησε στο σπίτι να έρθουμε μέσα, οπότε ας πούμε αυτό. Maybe it would be a good idea after all. Would you mind? I probably look pathetic with how I barely make any eye contact, instead choosing to stare at my door rather than Ren, but he doesn't seem to mind, or perhaps he simply chooses not to comment on it. I'll be happy to, Angel. With a smile, I opened the door and let Ren inside. Still okay if I'm to leave my shoes here? Yeah, go ahead. Putting the small talk aside for a moment, I usher the pig-haired person into my living room and situated ourselves on the couch. Ren wasted no time in opening my package, placing all the bits and pieces on the table and setting off to work, though every so often he sneaks a peek in my direction whenever he thinks I'm not looking. Did he want something? Raising a brow, I sent him a silent question. I don't mean to pry into your personal life, but you know you're always welcome to stay at my apartment. Ren, I've seen where you live. I doubt I could afford rent. You could stay for free, I don't mind at all. And I'm more than capable of converting your cost. I'd make a really good roommate too. I always clean up after myself, and I would mind doing the same for you as well. Only if you'd be fine with it though. and I can cook as well, laundry, cleaning, repairing things around the house, yard work, I can do it all for you really. Wait, you have a yard? Man, they can really fit a lot into those, apparently, huh? Well, no, I don't. But I always did gardening and used a lawnmower a lot when I was younger. I'm sure I can figure it all out again. Not that I didn't need to though, like you said, no yard, haha. No offense, Ren, but I can imagine someone like you mowing grass. Was that your first job as a teen? Before that, actually. Before that, you mean as a child? Maybe a bit younger. Younger? I mean, just kidding. Yeah, it was my first job as a teenager. Anyway, the point is, I'll be happy to let you stay at my place. Oh well, I really appreciate the offer, Red, but I gotta tough this one out on my own. Oh, if you say so. He goes quiet after that. Picking up the manual, Ren tries to busy himself with learning how to connect the cameras to my Wi-Fi before tossing it aside and doing it his own way, sorry. Deciding not to get in the way, I curl up on the couch with my food and simply observe him. I won't lie, watching Ren hands define, connect cable and unscrew plates was kind of attractive, but I wasn't about to say anything. And soon enough, the event of the evening slowly draws out as I start to feel the telltale sign of wearing takes hold of me. I try my best to muffle my yawn before I glance up at the clock on my wall to read the time just past midnight. Damn, I hadn't realized we've been at this for so long. Tired? Ren's voice startles me, and I glance back to see that he had already put down the cameras and was reclining in his seat to fully look at me. Kinda. It's been a long day. You can head to bed if you want. I'll set this all up and lock up once I'm done. You're still going to go home after this? You want me to stay? Did I strange? Perhaps it was because we've been spending so much time together, but I somehow grow fond of Ren's presence. It was comforting to have him near, though I wasn't about to tell that to him, so with an affirmative nod, I make the decision. Yeah, I do. Oh. Ren grins practically reaches his ears as he laughs to himself. Okay, sure. No problem. I can't help but painfully roll my eyes at his instrument. Well then, why don't I get some pillows and blanket, and we can camp out here for the night. Haha, just like sleepover. Sure. His toothless grin reminds me of my childhood days back when I begged all that adult to let some of my friends from school stay the night. With all of us wrapped up in patterned blankets, I'd cuddle up on the couch with everyone until we'd all fell asleep, but it wasn't Leon who came to my mind, it was someone else. Their face was blurry, but I could make out tufts of black hair from within the blankets surrounding us, and the same thoughtful grin Ren was giving me. But when I focused my attention back on him, I noticed that the smile is gone, and he's instead looking at me with a confused look on his face. I mustn't be spazzing out again. Sorry, I'll go get those pills now. Okay. Έχουμε ακόμα πολλά λεφτά. Let me know if you need any help. Ren responds, gets drawn out of a flee into the hallway. It took a while, but Ren managed to set the cameras up and hook it all up to an app on my phone, all while I made myself comfortable on the couch. He explained how to use it, but if I were being honest, I started to knob off once he started gagging out about the different kind of alarm buttons. Before I know it, my head falls onto his shoulder with a soft thump, and I felt Ren's body shake as he lets out a faint laugh. Something moves from the chair next to him before I rammed is wrapped around my shoulder. I can feel Ren pull me to his side before we both fall backward onto the couch. His chest suffers the blow, and with one of his hands gently threading through my hair, I slowly start to drift off. Nostalgia greets me once more, and before my consciousness fades away, I try to chase after the foggy memory that had been plaguing my brain as of late. Those three cunts laughing and playing together near a lake, who were they? And who was the one that stayed right by my side even after everyone else went home? Almost desperately I try and recall their face, or any of their defining features really. At this point, I would take anything. But it's all for naught when I feel Ren's lips falls to the crown on my head to place a chaste kiss. Sleep well, angel. With his comforting voice in my mind, I slowly start to slip away. End of day 3. The next day will soon begin. Would you like to... Fysika! Rather than the faint charming of bright outside my window, it's the sound of something buzzing that irreparably pulls me from my slumber. Muscle memory immediately kicks in, causing me to humphress throw my arms above my head and fumble around in search of the noise. When my hand lands on what I think is my phone, I groggily pull it closer to see what all the fuss is about. My boss name flashes on the screen, casting me to awaken fully and unlock my phone to read his message. Library will be closed today for sparing book work. Rank are back. You will get paid. Leave comment. Well, that was really short and to the point, much like how Conrad is always known to be, though he was never really the type of stout letters with numbers. He was always more of the spiritual type of guy. I guess, well, maybe Eleanor was giving him texting lessons again, or perhaps his daughter Alice, was she even old enough to text? Before I can let my thoughts wander, I instead busy myself with drafting a response before helpfully throwing my phone onto the empty space near my bed and letting out a sigh. Wait, empty space? That reminds me, what happened to Ren? The last thing I remember from last night was us struggling up on the couch together. At that, my checks immediately grow warm at the thought, and without so much as thinking, I reach for my phone once more to check out the security camera app he installed. I guess it was a good purchase after all, seeing as could use 3 cameras to spy on a certain pink-haired cutie who was hopefully still in my apartment. Looking for the app he installed on my phone, I open it up and navigate towards the camera in my living room. I see the telltale side of my pillows and blanket on the couch, though what catches my interest is the fact that they were neatly stocked and put away with no wren inside. Curious, I switched to a different camera to find him. He wasn't in my kitchen either, and not near my entryway. There was no point checking the camera in my bedroom, since, well, I'm here already, which only left. As soon as I checked out the camera in my hallway, it's then that I notice a familiar pair of blue jeans and a sort of gauge against the wall. Was that Ren sitting outside of my door? What was he doing? Perhaps a bit impulsively, I sat upright in bed and call out for him, and almost immediately I hear the telltale side of someone I'm clambering around outside my bedroom. It's shortly followed by the faint sound of a throat tearing before a familiar patch of pink hair peeks through the gap in the door. Ren peers and looks at me with a soft smile before he opens the door fully and invites himself inside. Good morning, Angel. Did you sleep well? Ren looks like he wants to say something, but instead chosen to climb up and stared at his feet. I almost want to reach out and ask him to look at me, but I hold back in favor of letting him take the invitation. Still, it doesn't stop me from calling out his name. Ren? Almost immediately, Ren head whips up as he looks at me with wide eyes. There's a crooked smile on his face this time, and almost timidly he shuffles on his feet as if deciding whether he can come closer. You asked me to stay last night. But then you started mumbling about not having enough room for something, so I carried you to your bedroom instead, and then you asked me to join you in your bed. But then you said something about the grown-up saying it's okay for me to stay, and I didn't really know what to make of that, to be honest. Shit. Seriously? Was I really sleep talking about something that happened when I was a child? But I figured you really did want me to stay, so I ended up camping out in your living room, so don't worry, nobody came into your room. Besides Mia, of course. Okay, και νομίζω θα είναι καλή ιδέα να το σταματήσουμε μέχρι εδώ. Ναι, θα είναι μια καλή ιδέα να το σταματήσουμε μέχρι εδώ. Είμαστε τώρα στην 5η μέρα ή 4η μέρα τώρα. Έχω ξεχάσει, νομίζω στην 5η μέρα τώρα. Και είμαστε ακόμα σε αυτό εδώ το παιχνίδι. Θα είναι καλή ιδέα να το παίξουμε ζωντανά. Ποιος ξέρει. Καταρχάς δεν ξέρω πόσο μεγάλο είναι. Κανείς δεν ξέρει πόσο μεγάλο είναι αυτά τα παιχνίδια. Και επίσημα μου λέει ότι έχω παίξει τώρα το demo. Και καταρχάς αυτό είναι το demo, είναι το κανονικό βίντεο παιχνίδι. Για να καταλάβω τώρα. Αλλά τέλος πάντων. Άλλο ένα βίντεο παιχνίδι πολύ ωραίο. Άλλη μια ωραία περιπέτεια περάσαμε. Ποιος ξέρει τι άλλο θα συμβεί μόλις τελειώσουμε αυτή τη συζήτηση. Θα πάμε έξω ραντεβού με τον Ρεν πάλι. Θα βρούμε πάλι τους φίλους μας. Τι θα κάνουμε μετά. Θα το μάθουμε στο επόμενο επεισόδιο, υποθέτω. Τέλος πάντων, αν σας άρεσε, μην ξεχάσετε να βάλετε μια εγγραφή και να αλλάξετε αυτό το βίντεο, παιδιά. Και πάντοτε θα σας δω στο επόμενο βίντεο. Γεια σας!